Hey, comic book fans, your friend, the Fast and Comic Guy here, and today is something that I sent in to CBCS about a year ago. Like, I probably sent it in like now about a year ago, and then they like registered it on like February 28th, and I finally got them back. So it's been almost a year. They say their turnaround times were about 224 days. It was way above that. And yeah, so my experience with CBCS, they are pretty horrible, I would say, actually, to be honest. Like, I tried calling them because after about 6 months of not, of just seeing it saying, hey, my order is just like sitting there, I called them up and it didn't actually give me a human being to talk to. They just said, leave a message with your order number and we'll email you back. And so I did that a couple of times and they didn't actually respond to that. Then I resorted to actually emailing them directly. And they did after about, I'd say a month. It, I got a reply back and they basically just said, we're waiting on our turnaround times. It's like, it's in queue. We'll get to it. That was about it. It was, which I guess is basically all the person can say if they're not like, actually there and they probably didn't look at it. Then I got a little bit worried because I heard they sent a whole bunch of stuff to some random dude that was supposed to do some grading and then send them back, and then they'd like encapsulate them. I don't really know entirely a lot about it, but apparently they sent a really huge shipment to the guy and they lost it. So I was like, it was around the same time that I actually sent my stuff in. So I was a little bit worried about that. I was like, oh gosh, I hope they didn't like send mine to this guy and it got lost and they just don't know it yet, type of thing. So, but then once they were pretty good about the letting me know when it did get like worked on. I got an email saying, hey, good news, we're actually like looking at your stuff now. So I got that about 3 weeks ago, and then like a couple days later to say, "Hey, good news! We're doing it. We're actually going to be encapsulating them." And then they said another one, "Hey, we'll be shipping it." Then they sent me an email saying, "Hey, we can't ship to a PO box. We need a land address." So I sent them a reply saying, "Yep, this is the land address for my direct house." And they confirmed, "Yep, don't worry, we got it." And then they put in FedEx, and I got it in like 3 days after it went into FedEx. So I guess once they actually start working on it, it went pretty smoothly, but the wait was just stressful because, like I said, I had no idea what was going on. But I sent in 9 books. You guys probably, if you saw the video where I was saying I'm going to send these books down, then you know which books they are. If you didn't see the video, well, then I guess you'll get to see them. I just opened up the box. I didn't like actually like examine them or anything like that. They're still in the plastic bags. They did have them. The box was kind of flimsy. The CGC boxes are like nice and thick for the most part with like cardboard all around them. This one, it was like kind of like a regular Amazon box, and but they bubble wrapped the hell out of it. Like I had to use a knife, and they taped it like crazy. So like the bubble wrap around it was really really good, and then they had paper all around it. But so here they are. We'll start with the first one, which is New Mutants 89, 87, which is the first appearance of Cable. This is actually the second printing with the gold cover. With CBCS, I didn't want to send anything too major of a key because I was, like I said, I was a little bit concerned. But 9.2, first appearance of Cable and the Mutants Liberation Fronts metallic gold cover. And actually, one thing I will say, their case is actually pretty sturdy. So yeah, that's the first one I got. All right, what's the next one? Oh, well, I'm not happy with this grade. This comic is a variant, and I was hoping to get a little bit higher, but it still is a 9. This is Poe from, and this is actually the first appearance of Poe and BB-8, and this is actually the Calgary Expo 2016 exclusive. I've heard this one is actually pretty. It goes for quite a bit of bucks. Like I guess since it's in CBCS, it's probably not going to go for as much as a CGC, but I've heard that goes for quite like $200 is like the regular is for this thing. But BB-8 first appearance I think is all right. kind of went, well, I guess it's a good thing that I didn't, because I would have gotten like a qualified label, because when they were doing it at the expo, the artist for that cover was there doing autographs. All right. This one hurts also a little bit, actually. I'm not entirely. I was sending also comics that I thought would get a really good grade. Like, I looked at them, I was like, yeah, they don't need a press or anything like that. And this one is Radiant Black #1. I thought this would actually get a 9.8, because the Radiant Black covers, they were done with a higher stock cover, and honestly, there's no spine ticks at all on it, and I'm not sure why this would have gotten a 9.4. And yeah, this is the first appearance of Radiant Black. I was enjoying it for a little bit, but then I kind of got out of the whole series after like issue 7 or something like that. And okay, we're getting higher in the grades, I can tell you. Champions #1. This is like the first team appearance of this particular champions group. Yeah, 9.6. That's all right. I'll take that. Again, the difference between 9.6 and 9.8 price wise is going to be huge, but it's usually at least like 30% cheaper to buy a 9.6 than a 9.8. And most people, I think, are actually now going for the 9.6s, because they're like, they look at 9.8 and they look at 9.6, like there really is absolutely no difference between the two comics. Like, it's so like you can't even tell the difference between the two of them. They're like, yeah, I'll save the $200 and get myself a 9.6. Okay, now we're going really low on this one. This one, I only sent this one in just because this was my comic from when I was a kid, and these were my two favorite characters when I was a kid. This is Dark Claw #1. Basically, back in the day, Marvel and DC, they decided to do a mashup of like popular characters, and Wolverine and Batman are among my favorite characters. And that was the result of mashing the two characters together. This was my personal comic when I was a kid. I can understand it being a 9.6. Like, I did have it in a bag of board, and I did have it in like a long box, but like it was in my closet. Stuff would fall on the box, and the box wasn't exactly, by the time, I probably still have the box somewhere actually, but by the time, I started getting into more uh better at keeping them safe and everything like that, the box, so the thing probably had like a little bit of a curve and everything like that, because it was a long box. Like, I didn't have the box completely full of comics, but it was probably enough that they'd be like leaning at an angle, which can create the crease in them. But it's a newsstand too, so that's all right. And all right, we're getting back up there again. We got Deadpool Secret Wars #2, which is the first appearance of Gwenpool on cover only. 9.6. I'm quite happy with that. I was hoping for a 9.8, because like I said, I thought these ones were in really good condition when I sent them, but oh no, that's just part of the, I thought there was like a little crease right here at the back, but that's just part of the advertisement that they have back there. Yeah, I don't think oh, well, this one here is actually the only one I think I sent in that was worth a, and I'm actually, it got the 9.8. War of the Realms. This is the first appearance. Has a ton of first appearances. It's got like Wave, Arrow, Luna Snow, and oh no, there's a few little smudges on the actual case itself where the writing is. But this thing's got like a ton of first appearances. This is like that Strange Academy #1. And I also find it kind of funny because this guy here, Swordmaster, it's his first appearance. He's on the cover of this one, but his first appearance is in the actual second comic. So, but 9.8. So that's really good. All right, so we got two more comics here. The bags aren't as well made as the CGC bags, I can tell you that. This one's already ripping a little bit. So an 8.5. I don't think this one. I do like they actually have a lot more written on here. So Wolverine's Adamantium returned. So yeah, before that in the comics, Magneto basically stripped Wolverine of his adamantium on his bones, so his claws were basically bone after that. And this is the comic where he gets them back, and it's got cool foil on the cover. There's a couple of variants. There's one where it's got gold foil. There's one where it's not foil on it at all, but it's apparently worth a lot more money. It's like 5 times. It's like one of the variants, like 1 in 500 or something like that. So 8.5, that's all right. I wasn't planning on selling this one anyways. I was just one of the Wolverine ones. I just was like, okay, I'll send it in. And last one, which I think is an underrated key. Oh, it's even got a wraparound cover actually. And we got a 9.2. So this one here, this one's the first appearance of what's his name? Gorgon. And Shadowcat, Nick Fury, The Hand, and Elektra appearance, wraparound cover. So Gorgon's basically this guy. He's like, I think he's dead. Like he's part of the Hand, and they basically use him to. But I thought he was a really good villain in the comics. When I was reading this one, I ended up reading it from a actual graphic novel with all of them to combine. But I liked the series so much that I had to get the first issue of it. So yeah, I'm quite happy. Yeah, 9.2. I'm quite happy about that. I just picked this one up in a random comic book shop, and so yeah, it wasn't like probably 2 years ago is when I picked it up at a comic book shop. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Anyways, guys, so that's my CBCS submission. I sent in 9 comics last year around this exact time. They finally like logged them in on February 28th, and then from February 28th till about 3 weeks ago, I heard nothing back from them aside from one random email from one response from like 4 voicemails. Gosh, no, I don't even know how many email replies I've sent to them. I think I sent like 15. So they replied to one of those out of all those, and they basically just said, "Yeah, we'll get to it whenever we get to it." But yeah, once they actually did start to get to it, things seem to be going pretty smoothly. I like the cases; they're nice and sturdy. Will I do business with them again? Probably not. So yeah, that's my take on CBCS. I hope you guys liked the video, and have a good one. Peace. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate every view I get. Please leave a like below. If you liked what you saw today, please hit the subscribe button on the left and check out one of my other videos on the right. And remember, keep it comics.